Good morning. Welcome to the light freeze in northeast Florida. It got down to the low 30s last night. The heat ran all night. It was wonderful. Such a nice change. But this girl got definitely chilly. I had to have an extra blankie. So, this book, which I call Reverse Collage. I'm sure other people have called it Reverse Collage. This is a thing from the past. I did a lot of this in maybe 2017-ish, 2018. And I used the lovely magazines that you could purchase in places like Barnes & Nobles and so forth. I took them to Staples or one of those places, if whatever you have handy, and I had them chop off the spine, which they do very nicely for $1 or $1.50. And in those days, I had the book cut again, so that the final outcome was the final book was only about this size. For some reason, I decided to bite off more than I could chew and use the whole book. I went through and picked some pages, as you can see, that I really, really liked and I thought would be fun. Now, reverse collage just means that before you begin any collaging on the pages, you go through each page and you cover up what might be on that page that doesn't tickle you too much. This is my tool of choice. It covers a wonderment. You can also add, using your acrylic paints, you can add to the pages. As you can see, I added a tree and some green leaves to this one. I usually don't do this, but in this case I did. I cut this size out of the front cover because I loved this that shows through. And these were the next pages in the book, in the magazine. Aren't they lovely? I did not do very much. It's a little bit of white. And instead of using white acrylic paint, I use gesso to cover up things that I don't want to see show through. In fact, if you look very closely at this, you'll see that there is a little bit of gesso up in the corner. I shall have to put a touch more on so it covers the printing on that page. And I didn't like this page at all, so I covered the whole thing up with gesso. If I wanted to have it whiter, I would just put another coat on. But this one is out of the way because the more I look at this, the less I want to fill up this spot. I'm going to leave it like this. Now, I was only able to open one of these because of my fingers. So what I'm going to do is close that one back up again and leave these on. I was going to show this to you without the rings, but that's not happening. I have to wait for my husband to come home from his errands and have him remove these rings for you to see more easily. So let's turn and see what the point of all of this is. You find pages that you like. Well, as you can see, there wasn't too terribly much on this page that tickled me other than the pup. So, covered up this page with gesso. Needs more gesso to cover up the print. This one, I just left one spot up here because of Frida. And I kept this page. I had to keep this page because of this. And I kept this page because this spread is so pretty. But there are things on here that I'm going to eliminate. I'm going to eliminate this. I'm going to eliminate Well, I'm going to eliminate this top section here, and you can understand when I say eliminate, I mean use your handy dandy palette knife and gesso. I like the lace. Oh, won't this be pretty when I collage on it? It's ready to go for collaging. I'm already starting to see what's going to happen as I get further down the road with my cover-up stage. Today we're going to be working on the cover-up stage and so forth. As you can see, all of this will go, and things that I might just not want to look at, gone. And I might make a decision to remove this page entirely because I don't see anything there that I particularly want. And we've got the puppy a few times, and all of this, well, I think this page is probably going to end up going to its reward. And let me tell you what the reward is. You end up with the rest of the pages in the magazine, and this is what I use for my my glue pages. And so forth, and so forth. Obviously a Christmas page, and isn't it pretty? Add something here. Maybe I will keep it, maybe I won't, but, oh, you see, I'm seeing that I can add some tendrils and bits of a, I can turn that into a trellis. That's going to become a trellis. Isn't this pretty? Isn't that pretty? This will be gone. I have to keep this one because of this page, and so I'm going to keep that sky because I don't know what I want up here, and the rest of it will be gessoed over. The first part is the part that is not such great fun. As you can see, some pages will have to be eliminated, but there are also some very pretty pages that remind me of Collage right away. It stays. And so forth. And anytime I see a book, it stays. So, and here is the cover page in the back because it's the heavier weight paper. So, without letting my imagination go too wild now, I'm going to decide, I've decided that I want to add to the cover before we go on to over here. I'm going to leave this. The purpose of art is the gradual lifelong construction of a state of wonder and serenity. That's not going to get lost at all. But I'm thinking that I'm going to add, now this would be a lot easier to do when my husband removes these rings, but I'm going to do my best. Let's see what we can do here. Do I want to add any more? Well, let me show you. This is a show and tell. Let's have a little bit of Mississippi Mud by Americana Paint. I don't have many other paints other than Ceramcoat, but okay. I'm using a piece of acrylic. Let's see if we can't just go over here a little bit more. And a little over here. I want to spread these branches out a little bit. somebody is peeking out behind the tree. Good. We needed a little bit more strength there. Do I want anything here? And a little bit more over here. That's good. That needed to be a little bit stronger. Let's take off some of that paint. And I want to carry up some of the flower color up to here, because all we have is down here, and I want to bring it up a little bit more. Let me dig now. See what we have. Okay, that's looking like it needs to be. We can put a little bit of this here. Let's use a fan brush. I haven't used one in ages. Just a little bit of this color getting carried out up here. And up here. I think I'm going to stop. And I'm going to get some water. As Gail Augustinelli says, talk among yourselves. I'll be right back. Alrighty, now I'm going to go to the next page. There we go. Let that dry. And now over here. I see some branches. I see some branches that I like very much, and I think I'm going to add just a little bit more branch up here. So let's go back to our Mississippi mud. Pull the palette knife. I think we need a little more. That's better. That top was a little. Maybe one more right here. Let's see if I can get another bit right here. Better. Much better. And I see some over here. See, this will be much easier when I can take those when I can take the rings off. A little bit of darkness up here. Just the littlest bit down here. Done. Now I'm going to turn this off a little bit because I want this to dry before we explore That's going to be a collage page, a really serious collage page. But this one is going to go. I'll remove that before I come back. Now these do not take terribly long to drive, but I will return. Well, that was so lucky. My husband came home, and these are gone, and it's going to make things easier. Now, when you take a magazine, even if you have it cut in half and have two smaller ones, the same place that cuts off the binding will put the holes in for you. No problemo. Okay, let's see where we are now. Are we dry? Yes, we are. I'll put these with my paint supply papers. And let's work at showing you how I cover up things that I don't want to see. First thing we need is gesso. Okay. And here we go. And down here. You can see that using gesso does make it easier because it's thicker. Whoops, finger right in, right in. And let's have a little bit more gesso. Get this corner taken care of. Okay. We're going to call that page almost cleaned up. So I'm going to go back here to dry. And now this one. I definitely want to keep that one. I like this page more. So that becomes glue book page. Paper and books and lace and a couch with puppies. I think I can relate to that one. Let's go now. And get rid of this. Or, what's on back here? Oh, discard page. Oh, isn't that pretty? Gessoing, collaging will cover that. I'm going to keep this one. Here we are, covering up bits that I don't want. And more down here. Going to let that dry. I think I'm going to take off the bottom of that page so that you have an idea of where we're headed. And then I'll come back on my next visit with this and show you the next step, which would be some collaging. Okay. Let's do this. go. And right across. Going to put something in that window. Don't know what yet, but I am. Just a little more gesso and I know you're thinking to yourself, what is this crazy woman doing? Covering up and then covering up again because it's not covered well enough. Let's move this to a safe spot. Don't have too many left. Okay, there we go. And this page will be our inspiration page. Today we added a little bit of branches on this one, left the rest of it alone because it's a beautiful page by itself. Some collaging might be added there or not. And here is how we cover our page with gesso so that we can redo the page in whatever way our artistic imaginings take us. And we used a magazine that we took to Office Depot and had the spine cut off and holes popped in, and then we're picking the pages that we want to play with. And one of the things that I did here was, if you'll remember, I picked this out. I cut this one out because I liked it so much. I don't know whether I'm going to use it, but I'm certainly enjoying having it. Now, I've got papers all over here drying. Here was our cover page. And we added some branches and a little bit of color to bring up this color to the top, to bring the eye up to the top of the page. We probably will not do a thing with that because I'm not going to try to improve on perfection. And here we have the second and third pages. And you can see I added a little, just a little tiny touch of more branches, which makes me happy, and that's the idea of what we're doing, is to make ourselves happy. And our tools for this job are some acrylic paint, an El Cheapo palette knife, which I have used for ages, and we'll see where the spirit takes us. If you have enjoyed this trip down the mouse hole with me, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and I would appreciate your subscribing to my channel. The next time we come back, I will do some more page backgrounds and add, because backgrounds are not always about covering up. Sorry, they're not always about covering up. They're about, also can be about adding color. So the next time we're going to do our backgrounds, but adding color. And then we're up to the final step, which is, of course, in my world, collage. Oh my. So, thank you for joining me today. I'll be seeing you soon. Bye now.